Welcome back. Dorot Gardens is kicking off the Wilt Insurance Program, a fun and unique initiative to help you say goodbye to wilted herbs once and for all. Celebrity Chef George Duran is also joining this program with a lineup of delicious holiday recipes that will elevate your seasonal meals in an instant. Here in studio to speak on their partnership is Chef George Duran. Chef George, thank you so much for joining us.
What a pleasure. I hope you're hungry.
Now, could you tell me a little bit more about Dorot Gardens?
Yeah, Dorot Gardens is an incredible company because they've created this thing to kind of speed up the process in cooking in your home. So, for example, winter is upon us, and not everybody's able to grow herbs in their backyard here in New York City because it's winter. And for that reason, you have to constantly go out and shop for fresh herbs. What Dorot has done is created a system, a way to actually have fresh garden herbs, garlic and ginger right there in your freezer whenever you need it. So in a pinch, if you're needing, let's say, a clove of garlic, a chopped clove of garlic, Dorot is able to offer you these kind of packets that are in your freezer aisle. And when you turn it around, you'll see these little crushed garlic cubes. And each one of these cubes is about a clove of garlic already crushed for you. And all you're going to be pretty much doing is kind of turning it around, grabbing your garlic cube, turning it around, opening it up just like this, and literally popping each one of these guys out so you can actually just use it as garlic. And the same thing with all the herbs, ginger, turmeric, dill, cilantro, so on and so forth.
I love this one. I am big on convenience, so I love it already. But before we talk a little bit more about what we have on the table, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself as a chef?
Oh my goodness, as a chef, as myself, well, first of all, I'm a New Yorker. I'm born and raised actually in Venezuela, so I'm an immigrant New Yorker. I came here when I was 15 years old, and the passion for food was in my blood like a Latino. From there, it kind of grew, and I started getting a media communications degree from NYU, and then I went to Paris to learn some French cuisine because, the French and their foods are not bad, I hear. So both of those passions of communications from NYU and my culinary degree in France kind of helped me become who I am today, hosting shows, Food Network, TLC, working at Good Morning America, just constantly bringing both of my passions together. And I think that's the secret to life, is to find two really good passions and kind of figuring out how you can kind of meld them together and create a wonderful career.
Now I'm curious to know, just combining these two loves and, these two things that you are interested in, what made you decide to go full force into culinary?
My goodness, my mother. Who else? What else? Of course. I mean, there is no way that she would say, I love you. The way she said, I love you was, are you hungry? Do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? I mean, that was our communication in our home, is through food. And a lot of families I know of, immigrants particularly, that's kind of the way. It's all about enjoying the food and using the food as a social tool amongst your family, but also amongst friends now.
Now, I want to talk about Dorot Gardens just again. They launched their new Wilt Insurance Program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, this is really exciting. So quite often, again, during the wintertime, you buy herbs, and the worst thing is to have it wilted in your fridge, in your little plastic bags. So what Dorot Gardens has done is created this website called wiltinsurance.com. You go to wiltinsurance.com, you take a photo of your wilted herbs. It's got to be wilted. And what they'll do is they'll send you actually a coupon for a free Dorot Gardens herb packet, and all you do is you go to the supermarket and get it for free right over there. So it's wiltinsurance.com, and it's actually pretty awesome. I've never heard of this before, and when they came up with it, I was like, that is genius, because I promise you, you go into my fridge right now, there's quite a few wilted herbs in there.
Now, I want to talk about what we have on the spread. It's amazing. Can't ignore it any longer, and I can definitely smell the herbs. Can you talk about, or kind of guide us through what we have here today?
Yeah, I think I wanted to be inspired with my New York City upbringing here for the last 30, 40 years. I don't know how old I am anymore. But I want to start off with, I've been living in Harlem for the last 10 years, and the things that I love about Harlem, one of the things that I actually enjoy, especially during the holiday season, is to see all these tables outside on the sidewalk set up with giant sweet potatoes, collard greens, you name it. All these ingredients are just being sold on the street, and it just inspires me to create this wonderful ginger-infused sweet potato. And I say it's inspired this way because you have to not be afraid of combining different flavors. And believe it or not, ginger pairs really well with the sweetness of sweet potato. So that's kind of what I've done. And again, here we are again with the Dorot Gardens. It is a fact that no one in the world knows how to peel ginger, not even myself. Like 100% of people in the world don't know how to peel ginger, and that's fine because Dorot Gardens does it for you. They literally set up these cubes of crushed ginger, and all you do is you pop them out of your freezer, and you have fresh ginger in a heartbeat. So that's kind of what I've created over there. From there, I kind of went to my, it's close to the Upper West Side, and so I made some latkes for Hanukkah. This year it's Christmaka. It's a combination of both of them. But I wanted to do something extra special, and I ended up doing parsley or cilantro herbed latkes and latkes, however you pronounce them. But that herb that adds another layer of like just extra flavoring to it that I absolutely love. And this is actually now my mother-in-law's, who's actually Jewish, her favorite latke recipe from this point forward.
That's amazing.
And then we move forward to this Christmas tree that you have over here. Well, this is one of the bigger ones, I say. So again, we grabbed the Dorot Gardens crushed garlic. I'm going to roast this garlic. And if you know how to roast garlic, you know that it takes forever to pop it into the oven for hours on end, or maybe 1 hour, then you roast the garlic. Well, what Dorot Gardens does is you kind of peel this back, and you kind of, here it is again, and you're just gonna kind of just push it right through, and you get these cubes of garlic. You add a little bit of olive oil to this, you pop it in the microwave for a minute, and up comes this wonderful roasted garlic. You put some behind your ear, go to Arthur Avenue, everyone will be all around. They'll be like loving you because you smell like roasted garlic. And so what I made with this, and again, this is now my Latin roots a little bit. I got one of these, have you seen these empanada wrappers that they sell?
Yes, I
So
have,
everyone knows these empanada wrappers. Usually you use puff pastry. There is no puff pastry in Harlem that I can find of. So I found these empanada wrappers, and I ended up putting some cheese in there, some of that roasted garlic, wrapped it up, and what you do is you turn them into these kind of like balls a little bit, like herb ball or garlic balls, and you start shaping them into designs like a wreath, in this case, a Christmas tree. You put some of that extra parsley that I've actually microwaved from Dorot Gardens on top of it, pop it into the oven, and now you have like this kind of round empanada with cheese and garlic and you name it, and when you serve it for the holidays, you'll make a lot of friends.
I think that's amazing. And what I love is that you kind of mentioned so many different cultures here. With the latkes, we have the empanadas. Can you explain how this can also mean that you don't have to sacrifice, some of your cultural foods while, trying to be healthy?
It's so important to understand, to open your mind and your palate to other cultural foods. And that's what I love about New York City. This melting pot not just brings people, but their cultures. And with that culture comes their culinary expertise, their flavors, their ingredients. One thing that I love about Harlem is getting into the African markets and seeing these spices and these herbs and these tubers and these roots that look so bizarre to me. And all I want to do is grab one and say, what is this? I want to make it. I don't care what it is. And I'm learning from my surroundings. And in New York City, you just need one subway ride to pretty much get to the world.
That's amazing. I love the way you kind of mentioned that. Now, why do you think it was important for Dorot Gardens to help encourage people to trade in their withered herbs for fresh ones?
One of the biggest problems people come to me with is that they have a lack of time. They say, I can't cook because I don't have time. What Dorot Gardens has done here is give you an opportunity to try out some of their frozen products, frozen cubes. This lack of time, if that's impeding you to get into the kitchen and start cooking not just healthier but better foods, well, they've pretty much made a shortcut. For me, it's all about the hacks, the shortcuts. I have also 2 kids. I don't have time to cook, but to not have to peel garlic, chop it up, put it into the dish, and to just literally pop it out. I mean, you're literally dropping it out. Stop, drop, pop, pop, drop, and go, and done, I should say. That's their kind of motto. It's so convenient. Like, convenience is it's all about that. Stop ordering the fast foods. Stop ordering the junk foods. If you want to really eat healthier, find these little shortcuts that are available in your frozen aisle, and I guarantee you will eat better, you'll feel better, and your kids will love you for that.
Now, I also want to talk about how, even for myself, I'm trying to step away from bottled seasoning because they tend to have a lot of salt. How could this also kind of help with that?
Yeah, first of all, when you go to a restaurant, you don't know the amount of butter and salt they're putting into the food, and that's why it tastes so good, of course. When you go to your home, you're like, my food isn't as good as the one in the restaurant. There's a reason for that. It's because they're using a lot of the fat and the salt in it. What you can do is kind of circumvent all that fat and the salt, You can use some of it, of course. Butter is still good, don't get me wrong. But use herbs to kind of to bring up that flavor a little bit and really make it more palatable. Garlic. I mean, you put garlic in pretty much anything, especially instant roasted garlic, and trust me, everything will taste better. So try to grill the chicken, but grill it with something with herbs, with ginger, with turmeric, with garlic, and I guarantee you're going to love it just as much as the takeout chicken.
Now, how can this elevate, your seasonal spread, but, even just beyond the holidays, just cooking in general?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the holidays are here. We're going to gain a few pounds. That's perfectly fine. But now January comes along and everybody's like, I got to get to the gym and I have to start eating better. This should be kind of a lifestyle thing. I think people should start really welcoming and balancing their life with healthier foods, but also guilty pleasures as well. Because if you don't do that psychologically, I don't know, it's kind of tough to kind of just say, I'm only going to eat healthy for the rest of my life. I'm only going to fast all day long. I'm only going to eat steamed vegetables. No, you want to saute those with a little olive oil. You want to add a little extra herb. You want to fry once in a while, just so that you don't drive yourself nuts. I mean, we live only once, and this is a great reason to really kind of balance your life with herbs, with garlic, with ginger, but also a little bit of that fried chicken.
And I could hear and just feel the passion. As somebody who cooks, can you explain, what kind of drew you to this program?
I had lost a lot of weight during COVID, and that was because I wanted to make sure I was healthy in case I was infected or something were to happen because of all the crisis. And that really inspired me to kind of say, I don't have to have a lot of salt and fat and saturated fats in my foods to eat well. Dorot has been an incredibly kind company to partner up with, but I used to use them before I even met these guys and partnered up with them. And they're available at Trader Joe's, at Whole Foods, Wild Fork, if you go online at Wild Fork. But you just do one quick Google search for Dorot Gardens or go to dorotgardens.com and you'll find them. And for me to be inspired to cook healthier but still keep that flavor profile, that's just a natural partnership that we have.
Well, Chef George, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I definitely loved learning about this. Like I said, I love convenience things.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be looking into it. But once again, thank you so much for joining us and bringing this lovely food.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
To learn more about the Wilt Insurance Program, please go to their website at dorotgardens.com. We've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 and 10 p.m. on Optimum Channel 67 and Verizon Fios Channel 33, or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with Darren Hymie on Wednesday and with Rena Valentine on Friday. I'm Kibin Alleyne, wishing you and yours safety and wellness now and always. See you next time.